Smiley on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Welcome. Yes, Mr. Announcer Man, you are correct. How does he know? I'm back with you again today, so evidently the hook was delayed in coming. But we have the doors barred, we have the windows sealed, we are hunkered down to present this edition of the Martha Zoller Show. So happy that you're listening. You're listening from all over the region, and I'm so very excited. We had a great show yesterday. I'm going to call yesterday a record-breaking show because we had record-breaking number of texts. I didn't get to read them all because some were not worthy, quite honestly, but I didn't get to read them all. And we had several very good phone calls, some not real informed, but, it's an opinion show and everybody has one. But we had a record-breaking day. So give me a call, 770-535-2911, or send a text, and our extraordinary producer, Brother Logan, will ship it over here to me, and if it's worthy, I'll read it. One way you know it's worthy is if you compliment the fill-in host. If that's the first line or two of your text, it's going to probably get read. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I don't have 3 stars on my parking place out there for nothing. All right, we're going to catch our boys and girls because it is cold out there. Children, y'all come on in and let's begin the day off right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent job once again. You guys get better and better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, boys and girls everywhere, thank you for listening to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. We're going to begin today with this quick phone call from our friend in LJ, and we're going to talk to Joe. But before I go to Joe, let me remind you that coming up in just a moment, I have a very interesting story. And it's a story that does my 3 things. It will inform you, it will tell you the truth, and it will entertain you. So don't miss what's coming up next, right after Brother Joe from LJ. Welcome.
Tom, you're doing a great job subbing for Martha. I just want to say I was on Sean Hannity's show yesterday, and I'm going to tell you the same thing I told him and his audience. I believe that Trump is the best leader in the history of the world. The stock market continues to break every record, and I just think that we've never been in better shape as a country with Trump leading. He's got, in my opinion, he's got the best cabinet. He's got and he's a businessman. He's a highly successful business leader before he became president. So I think the country's in the best shape in my life, and I'm really fired up about the future. And you're doing a great job, Tom. Keep it up. You're a great asset to Gainesville and the Martha Zoller Show.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Always appreciate your enthusiasm. And I want you to keep an eye on Wall Street. But now, Joe, we have to also keep an eye on Main Street. Because as one of my listeners texted me yesterday, not everyone is as into the stock market as you or perhaps I might be. And many people are really in need of, some increased mobility up the food chain, so to speak, when it comes to income and wages and et cetera. So let's keep an eye on Wall Street and Main Street. And I think if we do that, we'll be okay. All right, I can't hardly wait to get to my next story, but the phones are just lighting up. I mean, haven't even been on the air for 7 minutes, and we're going to take this next call real quick. Steve, welcome to the Martha Zoller Show.
Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm fine, my brother.
It's a nice, cool morning. I thought you might want to come over and lay by the pool for a little while.
Just turn the hot tub on, baby.
Hey, we got to. Hey, I can't even control my own actions and thoughts sometimes. So maybe we need to focus a lot more on praying for each other, not necessarily to agree, but just to love each other. And as long as you don't want to hurt me, you can believe whatever you want to believe. Doesn't mean it's true. But just get along better.
Well, you're exactly right, Steve. I do believe that. And look, it doesn't, ladies and gentlemen, listen, it doesn't cost anything to be kind. And I know many times my words may seem to be unkind, but they're always truthful. So it's kind to tell the truth. But I will warn everyone. You see these little bumper stickers out there that say coexist and has all the different symbols of everybody in the world, and it says coexist. Many of them, not all, and if you have one in your car, I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying, in my experience, many times people who have that exist, let's just all exist well together, are the very people who are intolerant, the very people who don't want to coexist. So, Steve, you're right. We should pray for one another. We may not ever come to the same thinking or reasoning, but we can be kind. And that's what I strive to do. But it's often equated to, crassness or rudeness when you give an opinion different from someone else. You see, tolerance is not, I have to agree with you and your truth. Tolerance is, I have to allow you to speak your truth. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But do not cross that line, ladies and gentlemen. Do not cross the line with Tom Smiley by making me have to accept your truth as truth. That's a line that cannot be crossed by me. Because you and I all know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, that truth cannot contradict itself. And so if you say there are more than two genders, and I say there are only two genders, they cannot both be true. Do you agree? Truth cannot contradict itself. So I'm all in favor of coexisting and getting along, but there are some lines I just cannot cross. All right, look, I'm going to take a quick break because I've got a story. It's going to inform you, it's going to entertain you, and it's going to be very truthful. So you listen, stay tuned for just a moment. I'll give you a hint. Car 54, where are you? We'll be right back. You're listening to Tom Smiley on The Martha Zoller Show.
Real-time news lives in your pocket.
You can rely on it.
Keep up with your community. Download the AccessWDUN.com app today. Powered by North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
So it's time to replace your roof. You've seen your neighbor's metal roof and wondered if that's for you. The answer is yes, thanks to Dawsonville Metal Products. Metal roofing from Dawsonville Metal gives you the maximum choices for making your roof look and function its best. It can be installed over your existing roof and can boost your home's value. Let Justin Odom show you the many benefits of metal roofing. Call Dawsonville Metal Products at 706-265-3099 and visit them online at dawsonvillemetal.com.
Some car dealers want to sell you a car. At Hardy Chevrolet, we'd rather help you find the vehicle that's right for you. This is Mike Cormier. We call it the Hardy Chevrolet difference. Since you're the one who will be in the driver's seat of that new Chevy, we think you should be in the driver's seat when it comes to making the selection. It's like Charles Hardy always said,
we love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
You already know Gainesville Mechanical for their award-winning HVAC service, but did you know they handle plumbing too? Because plumbing problems never happen at a good time, you need a trusted, experienced team there when they do. From small leaks to major repairs, Gainesville Mechanical is here for you with 24/7 no overtime rates through their Customer Assurance Maintenance Plan. Proud to be named Best of Hall for HVAC and plumbing, Gainesville Mechanical and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep North Georgia cool since 1989.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, a Hall County citizen files a petition with the Superior Courts seeking a new hearing on a proposed Cagle Mill Road development. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
I've got so much to talk to you about today, ladies and gentlemen. I've just got so much, and I want you to try to stay tuned as much as you can because I don't want you to miss some of this stuff. I've worked hard. I've worked hard last night and this morning, and my producer is working hard, and we're going to bring you a great, informative, and entertaining show. Let me just remind you that the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States does not protect all forms of protest. Do you understand that? Where are some of our teachers out there? Our teachers, are you teaching in the schools that the First Amendment to the Constitution does not protect all forms of protest, no matter how passionate you are about the particular matter, no matter how much you believe in your views and opinions? Your First Amendment right does not allow you to participate in all forms of protest. It does allow you to express freedom of speech. That's why it's in there. And the reason that we have speech protected is because that way you do not have to resort to other more violent and illegal means of protest. You have the freedom of speech. Now, I'm looking at a story that I want you to pay careful attention to because this might very well affect you, especially if you have a pension, if you're in a teacher's pension, if you're in a state worker's pension, if you have mutual funds, whatever. This kind of story affects you. Because if you remember with me just a day or two, maybe last night even, anti-ICE agitators were outside a Hilton hotel, I believe it was a Hilton hotel, in Minnesota, Maple Grove, to be specific, because they thought that some ICE agents were staying there. And so these protesters show up, they break into, they illegally enter the hotel, the lobby, they destroy property, they stand outside chanting, beating drums, blowing horns, blowing whistles, and I'm not talking about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm talking about at midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning. And finally, the Minnesota police, not ICE, but the Minnesota police show up, and finally they say, this is not a peaceful protest. You are no longer considered peaceful, and they start arresting people, which leads me to this question. Do you remember?
There's a holdup in the Bronx, Brooklyn's broken out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout troop short a child, cruise ships do and idle wild. Car 54, where are you?
That's what I want to know. Car 54, where have you been? I mean, finally, the Minnesota police show up to this Spring Hill Suite by Marriott Hotel in Maple Grove, Minnesota, and they begin to arrest people because they have declared that your protest is now not peaceful. And they begin to arrest people for unlawful assembly, and they begin to issue dispersal orders. Now, let me explain to you something that you might not realize. You can text me 770-535-2911 if you did or did not know this. But I want you to listen. Do you realize how hotel investments work? Do you? You understand that these hotels, like the Spring Hill Suite by Marriott in Maple Grove, that many hotels, once they're built, They are built by investors and investor money. 75-80% of the money is borrowed from a local bank. The remaining balance is raised by outside investors, and they put their money in the pot to build the hotel. The hotel then opens, and it does business. And with the proceeds from its business, they pay off their bills, the utility bills, the maintenance bills, the property management bills. They pay off their workers, their wages. They pay off the note on the hotel. And then what's left over for that quarter or that half year or however it's determined is dispersed back to the investors as their income, as the result of their investment. So do you understand that there are many pension programs around our country? There are many individual investors around our country. There are many people who have invested in hotels and businesses. And if the profits of that particular hotel go down, then their investment return goes down. And if they cannot produce a profit to pay all their bills, there's nothing left over to pay off a dividend or a distribution to the investors. Some of you, I think you see where I'm going. I see that hand. I see that hand. Some of you see where I'm going, because you understand that these people protesting outside this particular Marriott Spring Hill Suites in Maple Grove, Minnesota, are directly affecting the profits of that hotel. If no other reason, they're affecting the profits by creating extra expenditures for repair of damaged property, not to mention the loss of business. So I want to know, Car 54, where are you? Where have you been? Why haven't you been out there protecting citizens and their property and their investments? The First Amendment does not give you the right to stand outside a hotel and bang on drums and blow whistles and ring bells and sound off sirens just because you are against a particular policy of the United States of America. That's not what the First Amendment is for. And this is the problem that we're having in Minnesota, and we're about to have in Maine. I'll tell you about that later in the day. Because the local law enforcement people are not working with ICE. So ICE is having to do everything. When they go into an operation to arrest someone who has a criminal warrant, a pedophile, a murderer, when someone is arrested, ICE has to not only conduct the arrest, but they also have to conduct perimeter safety, because the Minnesota Police Department is sitting out there eating donuts and drinking coffee at the local Dunkin' Donut or Krispy Kreme. And because of that, you have all this chaos. If the Minnesota Police Department would be out there setting up barriers and barricades and perimeters and allowing ICE to go into a particular place and pull out these criminals, these rapists, these robbers, these pedophiles, these murderers, and yes, there are many. In Maine, 3,000 in the last several months. Then you wouldn't have this chaos. I tell you, I get so sick and tired when I hear people say, well, we can't even do what they can do in Iran. Oh, are you crazy? The people of Iran have no First Amendment right. They cannot protest at all. If you want to protest in this country, go get you a sign, stand out on a public, on a sidewalk or out of the way of people, and just sit there and stand there and say whatever you want to say about whoever you want to say it about. You think the people of North Korea could go rent out a college football stadium, pack it with people who are against the local regime, hold up signs about get rid of Little Rocket Man, and you think that would work in North Korea, in Iran? Some of you have lost your minds. Some of you are absolutely a lunatic when you begin to compare the rights in America to the rights of a place like Iran or North Korea. That is such a straw man debate topic, issue. You've lost your mind. I mean, I can't even dialogue with someone who thinks that. Listen, I love for there to be calls. 770-535-2911. Call all you want. But don't call up here and tell me that the women in Iran have more freedom than the women in America. Have you lost your mind? Or that the people in North Korea can protest more easily than the people in Minnesota. Are you crazy? I hate to be the one to bring this up. I mean, I hate to be the one to have to bring this up to your attention, but you've lost your mind. Can I just tell you one more time? I want to inform you. The First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America does not protect all forms of protest, no matter how passionate you might be or you might feel about that issue. It protects free speech. And if you want to go somewhere and stand in a sidewalk, get a permit, and hold up the sign that says Trump is an idiot, Trump is a dictator, then have at it. But don't stand in the middle of the street and impede traffic and commerce. I'm telling you, I had some friends at my local coffee shop, Mo Curley and, what was the other guy's name? Mo Curley and, come on, it's wrong. Mo Curley and... oh,
come on. We can think of
come
this.
on.
Two brain cells. We can get them together here. Three Stooges.
Mo Curley and... Who?
Someone help us here.
Someone help me. What is the third Stooge's name? Anyway, Mo Curley and the other one. Yeah, somebody's going to text me. 770.
Larry. It's Larry.
Larry. Thank you. I knew our listeners would come through.
Thank you.
My friends at the local coffee shop I go to, Mo Curley and Larry, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. Stay tuned. I have more coming your way. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to play you what these officers were having to experience all night long. Don't go away.
For 33 days, that's right. 33 days, 333 people will win. $333 in cash 3.
Get ready for some instant wins, Georgia, because for 33 days, 333 people will instantly win $333 playing Cash 3. That's at least 10 instant winners a day.
So pick your numbers now. It doesn't matter how. Numbers are everywhere. There's enough to share, so pick and play Cash 3.
Play Cash 3 now through February 6th for your chance to instantly win $333. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Please play responsibly. Always check and sign your ticket.
Did you know that a ton of people win playing the Georgia Lottery every day? They do. Cash 4 has almost 1,500 winners every day. Cash 3 has almost 5,000. And Fantasy 5 has nearly 24,000 winners. With billions paid out last year, this is your sign to play.
Tune in to WSB Channel 2 for your official Georgia Lottery drawing and check out the Players Club at galottery.com.
Building, moving, remodeling, they all create more waste than will fit in your average garbage can. Thank goodness for Waste Eliminator. They offer roll-off dumpsters in all sizes. Just visit wasteeliminator.com, click on Order Dumpster, and they'll deliver just what you need. From simple home cleanout to large commercial projects, Waste Eliminator handles it all. Schedule your roll-off dumpster today at wasteeliminator.com. Environmentally responsible and committed to customer service. It's Waste Eliminator.
Get ready. It's almost time for the Clash. Not that Clash. We're talking NASCAR's Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray, Sunday, February 1st at 5:30. Here on North Georgia's home for NASCAR.
Turn number 2, a couple of cars spin. Kyle Busch is one of them.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 9:30.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. A plea to anti-ICE protesters from the First Lady after the phone call between President Trump and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
They're working together to make it peaceful and without riots. I'm against the violence, so if you protest, protest in peace.
The First Lady on Fox says President Trump dispatches Border Czar Tom Homan to restore order in Minnesota ice enforcement, sending Border Patrol's Greg Bovino back to California. Lingering ice from the storm leaves 500,000 homes still without power in the Arctic freeze. From Texas to North Carolina, lineman Jeff Dotson.
It's been treacherous with the ice and the snow.
A quarter of Nashville customers still without power. Boston schools closed a second day under almost 2 feet of snow. Secretary Sean Duffy aiming for airports to get back to normal Wednesday. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and a Hall County citizen has filed a petition in Superior Courts looking to have a development on Cagle Mill Road reheard. This comes after Hall County District 3 Commissioner Greg Poole attempted to do a similar act at the commission level due to a testimony showing the now removed planning commissioners had staged the vote. Now, citizen Jody White is requesting that the vote on December 11th be voided and any further hearings on the matter be in full compliance with Georgia Open Meetings Act. A Mount Airy home declared a total loss following a structure fire Sunday. WDUN's Lawson Smith with more.
Habersham County officials confirmed that crews were called to a residence on Welcome Home Road at 10:30 a.m. Upon arrival, the first engine was unable to access the structure because of ice-laden trees leaning into the driveway on both sides, along with ice and mud in the driveway. As a result, crews walked a quarter of a mile to get to the home. The area did not have a fire hydrant, and the fire progressed to the point that portable extinguishers were ineffective.
No injuries were reported, and a Union County home was damaged after a fire Monday. More from WDUN's Hamilton Keener.
The Union County Fire Department said they responded at around 3:15 a.m. to the home in the Jonica Gap area. When they arrived, they found the home with fire in the ceiling. The residents escaped the home safely. Units attacked the fire, but the home was left damaged. No injuries or deaths were reported.
You'll find more news online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Tuesday morning, North Georgia. It is so cold. Mostly sunny skies, but a frigid start, as you're well aware. We're only in the upper 30s for highs today. Partly cloudy, cold again tonight, but not as cold. We're in the 20s by early tomorrow. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Mulberry, just 17 degrees. In Lula and Gainesville, only 16. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
For over 40 years, Eagle Ranch has helped thousands of children and families find healing and renewal. My name is John Shackelford, and I'm the Executive Director of Eagle Ranch. In 2021, our family felt a clear call to leave our life in Atlanta and come to steward the incredible legacy of the ranch into the future. The ranch continues to come alongside children and families through therapy, practical guidance, and resources, all anchored in the love of Christ. If you or someone you love needs the supportive, healing environment of Eagle Ranch, please encourage them to reach out to eagleranch.org.
Should you make your trust the beneficiary of your IRA? So many say you shouldn't, but we say you should. This is Kevin Tharp, elder law and estate planning attorney, and if you want your IRA to be protected for your surviving spouse, children, or family, then you should leave it to them at your death through a trust. For more information, go to my website, kevintharp.com.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
So you're an investor in a hotel. You've put your hard-earned money into it. It's making a fair profit. You get a distribution, every quarter or twice a year. And now these goofballs come into your city and they begin to beat pots and pans and blow whistles, blow off foghorns in the middle of the night and early hours of the morning, disrupting the business of the hotel, damaging hotel property. Customer service is now down. Customer, participation is down. The property now is losing money. And at the end of the distribution period, you get less or maybe zero because of these goofballs thinking that their First Amendment right provides them the opportunity to do this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's a peaceful protest? Outside a hotel and inside its lobby? In the middle of the night and early morning hours? Well, finally, the powers to be in Minnesota have said, no, that's not a lawful, peaceful protest. That is actually a criminal act, and they've issued disbursement orders. People didn't leave, so they got arrested. Now, here's rest of the story on that regard. Let's have some reporting. Let's have some journalistic investigative reporting, and let me know how many of those people arrested actually faced a serious consequence. Because that's the second piece of the puzzle. They throw them in the paddy wagon, carry them down to the police station, give them donuts and coffee, and then let them go. No, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be reasonable. They refused a lawful order from the local police to disperse, and they did not, so they should be in jail for a couple of, I was about to say decades, but that would not be reasonable. So a couple of days. Or something has to take place. Something has to happen to these people. This isn't fair to the people who own the property, to the people who invest in the property. We're not talking about one person, one billionaire who owns that particular property. I don't know who owns it. Go look it up. My guess would be that a group of investors or some real estate REIT or somebody owns that property, and now their profits have been greatly affected by these lunatics who think the First Amendment gives them that right, which it does not. And maybe our teachers in our local high schools can do a little better job of teaching that particular truth to our children. All right, Steve, you're on the Martha Zoller Show. Welcome.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm thinking about a nickname for you, brother.
Okay, go ahead.
Tom Revere. The communists are coming.
I have been called worse.
Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of truth to that, brother. You're
Thank you.
about the only one that's telling the truth here lately. It just seems like everybody's telling us everything we want to hear and not the truth.
Well, thank you, Steve.
They're getting this mindset from the schools. They should be teaching what we are, but they're too busy teaching Marxism. I get a poem laying on the floor at my house titled America, so I pick it up and read it. And it's about a child thinking about killing his daddy because his daddy was a capitalist.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what they're getting at these schools.
Yeah.
And they think what they're doing out there is what they need to be doing. They're learning it at school.
Yep.
Saul Alinsky says social change comes through this radical behavior. Wow.
Yep, I agree. Hey, Steve, coming up, stay on the phone, but stay on the line. But coming up later, I think this week, I'm going to be interviewing a candidate for the state school board. And you know what? I'm going to ask him, and I'm not trying to open up a can of worms with him, and I'm going to tell him ahead of time. I'm going to ask him, so he'll be prepared. But I'm going to ask him where he stands on school choice as the state school board superintendent. I don't care if you are the state school board person. You still should be, in my opinion, for more school choice and let parents decide what's best for their students.
Well, they're paying for it in their taxes. They should have a choice.
And then let the money follow the kid.
That makes too much sense for a lot of people.
Well, Steve, thank you so much. And now, Steve, what location are you? Are you in Hall County, or what region are you listening in?
I'm a local builder. I live here in Gainesville. Been building here for 30 years, so I've seen everything from the taxes, the whole. I've been to school board meetings. I've seen them all. I've seen to these meetings where they, rezoning. It's just a lot of people don't have a clue.
Well, I tell you what,
everything.
You're going to like this story coming up probably at the next hour. I've got Ilhan Omar. And I'm going to ask the question, where did she get her money? She went from like $65,000 to over $30 million by some estimates in about a year and a half being in Congress. So I'm going to open up that can of worms later on, Steve. You might want to stay tuned for that because
she's at the right place up there. I understand their stats up there is in the billions.
Yeah. She's in the right spot. Thank you, Steve. Take care. All right. Oh, by the way, thank you, listeners, for coming up with the name of Larry. Mo, Curly, and Larry. That's my three friends at the at Longstreet. And they know who they are. They know who they are. I'm not going. I could even tell you which one was Mo, which one was Curly, and which one was Larry. But you wouldn't care, and probably wouldn't know them. Or you might know one of them. You might know two of them. Well, you might know all three of them. I'm not sure, but they know who they are. I'm just interested. So I'd like to get a text from some of you out there. Did my little diatribe about the hotel investment connection to the disruption of services and business at the local Marriott in Maple Grove, Minnesota, did that make any sense to you? Did that go right over your head, or are you with me on that? Do you understand what I'm talking about? And do you believe, as a particular individual, that the First Amendment gives people the right to have any form of protest? Is that what you've been taught? Is that what you believe? I'd like to know that. And while I'm talking about questions I'd like to hear from you, why don't you text me your answer, some of you who are perhaps of a different opinion than me, and why don't you tell me where would be our common ground on this Minnesota and what is soon to be in Maine? Because I have a story coming up about what's happening in Maine. You won't believe it. You're not going to believe it. You're going to say, Tom, you're making that up. But I'll have it for you in just a minute. But do we have a baseline that we could agree on? Like, could you agree with me that a mother should not carry an infant to a riot or a protest in Minnesota? Would you agree with me that wouldn't be wise or proper? Could we have a baseline to say that if Governor Walz is going to ask people to film ICE agents arresting people, you also should be out there filming Somalians who have been defrauding the government of over $9 billion? Can we have that as a baseline? Would you agree with me? I hate to say this because I don't like talking about people who are not on the phone, but I got a call yesterday from a lady. Her name was Stephanie. And I thought about this last night as I was preparing for today's show. I wish I could have asked Stephanie, do we have a baseline, Steph? Could we both agree on some things regarding this Minnesota protest? Can we agree? Can we agree that running defense for bad people isn't a good idea? That blowing whistles and impeding ICE progress isn't good when it comes to arresting pedophiles, murderers, robbers, rapists, fraudsters? I'm just wondering, do we have any room for agreement? Could you just text me, 770-535-2911, or call me. I'm not going to hurt you, and I'm not going to yell at you, probably. All right, so do that right now. We'll take a quick break, and you give me a call or a text, okay? We'll be right back. I am Tom Smiley, and you are listening to...
When you need news anytime, day or night, get it from the source that's been delivering local news digitally for a quarter of a century. Go with AccessWDUN.com and the Access WDUN app, powered by North Georgia's News Talk, WDUN.
Your parents are getting up there in years. You want to talk to them about their future, their plans, what they've done to prepare, where they want to live if they get sick, but you don't know where to start. Or when you bring up the topic, they change the subject. Sound familiar? Hi, I'm Haley Brock, attorney and owner of Kimbrough Law. Millions of people find themselves in this situation. Almost no one likes to talk about aging and death, but Kimbrough Law's free legal guide can make it easier. The free legal guide shows you how to plan for a productive talk, how to start the conversation, and how to deal with common responses, including pushback. You'll also find sections on how to pay for long-term care, how to protect family assets, how to get the right legal documents, and more. So don't put it off. Have the talk. To get your free legal guide, go to kimbroughslaw.net and click on Resources. Visit kimbroughslaw.net and click on Resources.
I'm Frank Norton with the Norton Agency. Buying a home just got 10 times more complicated. You need a professional broker by your side to help you through the process. New buyer, seller regulations, lengthy contracts, the crazy mortgage process, inspections, appraisal, and then closing. You need Norton now more than ever. Call us at 770-532-0022 or look for us on the web at gonorton.com. Our family serving North Georgia for 4 generations.
When you have a problem with your roof, you want someone who can respond quickly, but also who knows roofing. That's what you get at Georgia Select Roofing. This is Chris Earls, and we do roofing right. Estimates are free, we can help you navigate your insurance claim, and we also offer financing. Check out our Google reviews, and you'll see that Georgia Select Roofing offers the best service around. See us today at georgiaselectroofing.com or call us at 678-316-6899. Family owned and operated, Georgia Select Roofing has you covered.
We're talking with Mike Robertson of Oakwood Tire and More. And Mike, I understand you guys have moved. Where can we find you?
3440 Mabry Road, which is right off of Mountain View.
Still offering the same services?
We won't be doing alignments, but we'll be doing tires. Tires, brakes, batteries, tune-ups, those kind of things that normal maintenance repair.
Sounds good. Give us the address one more time. Make sure we don't miss out.
You can find us at 3440 Mabry Road at oakwoodtire.com or even the same phone number, 770-535-0943.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, more than 15,000 customers with EMC groups in North Georgia remain without power into a third day following Winter Storm Fern. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. And let me get this text I got to share. We got Steve on the line. No, excuse me, Mark. Mark is on the line. Hang on one second, Mark. Mark from Dawsonville. I want to do this real quick, though, because we do appreciate our callers and our texters. And I got a text yesterday that I want to read real quick because it's just a good text. And, you know, I had that conversation with Steve Moore, right? Isn't that his name? Yeah, Steve Moore. Of The Economist, and we were talking about Main Street, Wall Street, and we had a texter, it's a 5321 number, who said economist Steve Moore is not addressing reality of low-wage earners $17 to $20 an hour. I had to ask him about Main Street and Wall Street, right? And he gave an opinion that even people on Main Street are doing good in this economy, not just the people on Wall Street. But according to this particular text and listener, even though inflation has cooled this segment of the this segment of the population, their paycheck struggles continue. Many are not participating in the stock market. Corporations are benefiting from pro-growth. So, you know what? I just wanted to read that text because it was well thought out, and the person responded to what we actually were talking about. And I am very cognizant of the need to be sure we keep an eye on Main Street and Wall Street. Because wage earners between $17 and $25 an hour, they also need good relief, good tax policy, and they need lower prices. And they may not be as involved in the stock market as many of others of you are, but we still need to keep our eye on Main Street and Wall Street. That's my opinion and some of the opinion of this particular listener. All right. Do not miss what's coming up next after this conversation with Mark, because I want to ask the question, where did Ilhan Omar get her money? I've got a very good soundbite on that. But first, we want to go to the phone calls and check out Mark in Dawsonville. Welcome, Mark.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Oh, buddy, I would like to know where the money trail is, because these kids and protesters or whatnot, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're being paid, and I'd like to know where the money trail's coming from that's putting all these protesters out there to be out there disrupting the world.
I agree, 1,000%. And, you know, we've had people tell us that they're investigating that. I'm wondering, how hard can it be to follow that money?
They don't want to follow it. They'll have too many doors they got to open, and too many people are behind this. My thoughts are it's being Democratic-led.
Well, you know, Mark, I think that we ought to be looking for the money. I would also like to see somebody follow these protesters, quote, home, wherever their home is. I'd like to find out what state they live in. I'd like to find out whose payroll they're on. I'd like to know how much is a good protester worth, and are they paying health benefits? Because you had one protester just this week who picked up one of those flash bomb things, one of those flash pellet things, picked it up to throw it back at the police officers or at ICE officers, and it blew up in her hand. I think she lost a finger or two, and now she's moaning and groaning about that. Or about the guy that got hit by the ICE officer, the very officer he was charging toward. He got hit in the eye by a pellet gun, and now he's lost sight in his left eye. I wonder if they have health benefits, Mark.
Again, that would follow our paper trail. But, buddy, you keep up the good work and keep the pressure on them because all this is going to come out.
Thank you, Mark. I hope it does. I really do. I hope the truth will prevail. And, it's just sad. Isn't it sad that we don't have a media in our country anymore? You got local media like what we're talking about right now. And this local media outlet, the microphone I'm sitting behind, is much better than the legacy medias that we're listening to or have to listen to. I'd like for you to text me, and I'll read it if you send it to me. What are some of the national media outlets that you listen to? I know many of you listen to the Martha Zoller Show. I get that, and to me when I fill in for Martha. But outside of that, I'll tell you quite frankly, the one or two media shows I listen to, I think Jesse Walters is right on target. I do record his show so I can catch it at any time of the day if I miss it at night. And I do like Larry Kudlow. I like his opinions on business and investments. And, Greg Gutfeld, I will listen for about maybe 4 minutes just for his commentary, but sometimes it gets a little too raw for me. I'm just not into all that nasty, ugly talk that sometimes he does have, in my opinion. It may not be that for others. But that's about all that I listen to. And then I read a lot of stuff. I read a lot of different articles. I'm looking at a magazine a friend gave me right now that has several good articles. I'd like to know what it is that many of you listen to. Would you text me 770-535-2911? Just text me and give me the list of some magazines or some news outlets or some internet resources that you listen to. I'd like to know just for my own personal information. 770-535-2911. All right. Ilhan Omar. Let's talk about Miss Omar for just a moment. Now, this sounds very crude, some of what is being reported here. I'm just simply sharing with you what I found, right? So I'm not saying, I don't know her. I've never met her. I don't understand exactly, stuff about her. But there's a lot of information that asks the question, where did she get her millions of dollars from? So this is from one of the news sources. I can't remember where this is or who this person is. I'm so sorry. I should have written that down. But listen to this audio about a discussion about where this congresswoman has gotten her money from, how much she's gotten over the years, and see if we can figure it out.
So we'll ask again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that darn money from? Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress in 2018, she was married to a Somalian man named Ahmed Nur Said Elmi, and she had a net worth of approximately $65,000. Not a ton of money, but $65,000. By 2020, a whole 2 years later, Ilhan had already divorced and remarried another Somalian man by the name of Ahmed Aladizian Herzi, and her net worth was still right around $65,000. Yet just 4 years later, she was divorced and remarried again for a third or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here from Somalia, which, by the way, is a federal crime, and she's serving in Congress. And nobody talks about this. So by 2024, Ilhan's married to a new person, a white guy named Tim. There's Tim Minette. And Tim is not a rich man, but now he is. Tim's rich now because somehow over the course of the last 3 years, Ilhan Omar's net worth has skyrocketed to over $30 million and counting, meaning she went from having right around $65,000 to $30 million in 3 years. Think about that. Powerball drawing is tonight. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Ilhan Omar did not win the lottery. Bernie Madoff was cheating, and he still wasn't doing that well. That is a 46,000% increase in less than 3 years. Now, how do you suppose that happened? Do you really expect us all to believe that she just played the stock market like she's got a great investor and they just got kind of lucky over the course of the Biden presidency? And why are we the only ones asking these questions tonight?
That's a very good question. That was, by the way, thank you, producer extraordinaire Logan. That is from Newsmax, and his name is Ron.
That is Rob Finnerty, the reporter.
Finnerty. Thank you so much. Thank you. See, our extraordinary producer doesn't just sit over there eating bonbons and cream horns. I mean, he's working.
No, today was those munchkins you brought in. That was what I was munching on today.
Yeah, those are good, weren't they?
Oh, Still some back there, so I might get some.
And I have my, by the way, thank you, Mayor Zach. I still have my one. I'm holding it up. You can see it on the camera. If you go to WDUN, access WDUN on YouTube, you can see me holding up my extra large double-decker oatmeal cream pie that the mayor brought by yesterday. I have one left, and that will go on at the 10 o'clock break when I have my coffee. But yeah, so that's Rob from Newsmax asking the question, where did Omar get her money? Now they're supposed to be opening up an investigation, but ladies and gentlemen, really, how can you go from living in Somalia, moving to the United States? How can you go from that and just a few years, a 46,000% increase in your net worth? How can that be? I mean, how can that be? So here's a question for you. Do we have a right to know? Do we have a right to know? I think we do. She's a public official. I think we have a right to know. And by the way, how do we know about her net income? Because it's on her government paperwork that she files with the government as a congresswoman. That's how we know. I'd like to know more. I'm Tom Smiley. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Martha Zoller Show.
Great Chevy vehicles and excellent customer service. Those were the cornerstones that Charles and Jeanette Hardy built Hardy Chevrolet on in 1982, and that hasn't changed. This is Mike Cormier inviting you to Hardy Chevrolet. Come see how enjoyable car shopping can be. From our sales team to our service department, we're all about customer service. Like Charles Hardy always said,
we love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10 o'clock.
The border czar is now in charge of Minnesota. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A change President Trump made to immigration enforcement operations after the most recent shooting that left a protester, Alex Preddy, dead. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin just told Fox.
Secretary Noem will continue to oversee, of course, the Department of Homeland Security, and she's very happy that Tom Homan, who is a great asset to the president, has a great depth of experience and insight that he will be overseeing Minneapolis.
Fox's Aisha Hasney reports from the White House.
As far as we know, Tom Homan
Homan landed in Minnesota last night, and the president says that he is going to be meeting with Mayor Jacob Frey as early as today. The president said he had a very good phone call with the mayor of Minneapolis yesterday, says a lot of progress has been made. Frey confirmed that phone call as well, adding that Trump agreed with him that this situation as it is cannot continue. As Homan comes in, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino and some Border Patrol agents are leaving the state.
And the anti-ICE protests rage on. Police in Maple Grove, a Minneapolis suburb, report 26 arrests last night outside a hotel demonstrators believed Bavino and ICE agents were staying in. And this could be controversial. ICE is going to the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina, Italy next month.
U.S. embassy sources in Rome have told the AP that the federal ICE agents will support diplomatic security details. The mission is to vet and mitigate risks from transnational criminal organizations. They won't be involved in anything to do with immigration enforcement.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. As the cleanup continues from that massive winter storm, more than 1,500 flights canceled. Over 500,000 homes and businesses still have no electricity. In many cases, no heat. Crews working 24/7 trying to restore it. Mike Diggs with Middle Tennessee Electric tells Fox.
The biggest challenge was our roads just to get to the job. It's pretty treacherous, the ice on the roads, but tree limbs is steadily falling.
America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and the brutal conditions from Winter Storm Fern continuing to challenge the area's emergency crews and line workers for the region's EMC providers. Tens of thousands of customers for EMCs in Northeast Georgia headed to a third morning with electricity and other outages for utility resources. The heaviest hit remains to be White, Habersham, and Rabun counties, where nearly 11,000 customers between Georgia Power and Habersham EMC in White County are waiting for restoration. Another 4,700 Habersham customers as of 8 a.m. also dealing with issues, and around 3,800 in Rabun County still in the dark and cold this morning. Also, 500 Georgia Power customers in Lumpkin County are without service. HEMC, Georgia Power, Jackson EMC, and other providers continuously working around the clock to get the lines and poles fully restored. A Mount Airy home is declared a total loss following a structure fire Sunday morning. WDUN's Lawson Smith reports.
Habersham County officials confirmed that crews were called to a residence on Welcome Home Road at 10:30 a.m. Upon arrival, the first engine was unable to access the structure because of ice-laden trees leaning into the driveway on both sides, along with ice and mud in the driveway. As a result, crews walked a quarter of a mile to get to the home. The area did not have a fire hydrant, and the fire progressed to the point that portable extinguishers were ineffective. Mutual aid was called, but the home was destroyed.
A citizen in Hall County now is taking a development in front of the courts for hearings. WDUN's William Daughtry explains.
A development on Cagle Mill Road is at the center of a petition arguing it was tainted by a pre-planned Hall County Planning Commission meeting involving now removed planners. Hall County District 3 Commissioner Greg Poole attempted to have the 323-unit development reheard at the commission level. Now, citizen Jody White is taking the matter to the courts. White is now requesting the vote on December 11th to be voided and any further hearings on the matter to be in full compliance with the Georgia Open Meetings Act.
And following a Saturday shooting death in Minnesota of a Veterans Affairs intensive care nurse, the VA Secretary and Gainesville native Doug Collins issued a statement on Sunday saying nobody wants to see the chaos and death in American cities, and he sends his condolences to the Pretty family. He then shifted the blame to Minnesota state and local officials' refusal to cooperate with the federal government's deportation operations. More news at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Tuesday morning, North Georgia. Mostly sunny skies, but a frigid start. We're only in the upper 30s for highs today. Partly cloudy, cold again tonight, but not as cold. We're in the 20s by early tomorrow. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
Just 16 degrees in Blairsville, Suwanee with 20, and in Gainesville, 19. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
It's WDUN's Bill Main, and you've heard me talking about our trip to Portugal this September 28th. We've teamed up with Colette and Peach State Bank and Trust again for an unforgettable travel adventure. We'll spend multiple nights in charming Porto and the amazing Algarve coast. We'll walk cobblestone streets and cruise the scenic Douro River from the colorful capital of Lisbon to the stunning whitewashed villages of the Algarve. We'll savor the wonderful foods, bask on beautiful beaches, and even tour a family-owned cork factory. And that just scratches the surface. So join me for a special informational lunch meeting at Peach State Bank and Trust in downtown Gainesville Thursday, February 5th at noon. Lindsay from Colette will be there to answer all your questions. But if you want to find out more right now, call Colette at 800-581-8942 or log on to WDUNTravels.com, where you can also sign up for that meeting, and we'll see you there.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
Presented by WDUN, Colette, and Peach State Bank and Trust.
From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show. Talking the issues and filling in for Martha, it's Dr. Tom Smiley on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Welcome back. I am Tom Smiley, filling in for Martha. She'll be back next week. And by the way, management came in just a moment ago, but there was no hook. They did not have the proverbial hook. They actually went right through the front door, right out the back door here, back into the administrative area, and no reprimands were given. Did you hear a reprimand, Logan? I didn't hear one.
I did not. I heard pleasantries, which is always good to hear, but no hook, no reprimand.
How about a sneaky eye?
Sneaky eye. No, I think that might have just been some crud in the eye, I guess, because all the all the cold we have out here today. And golly, it is frigid out there. Tom, we're in the teens.
I know, it's freezing. I got to go up there and crank my truck up before I leave.
Oh, so you got to crank it and leave it there for a few. You can go get an ice cream. You can go get some coffee. You've got time to kill.
So I got a text. Here's a text from, let's see, a listener who last four numbers is 1097. This listener wrote, "Hey, good morning, Tom. When the dictator Nicolas Maduro was in power in Venezuela, the people that protested would put in jail, punished, tortured, and many killed." You're exactly right. Oh, I thought they went down and got a permit to go out and protest and hold up a sign that says, "No more Maduro." I mean, they can't do that? You mean they can't do that in Venezuela? You mean in North Korea you can't go out on the sidewalk with a sign that says, "Little Rocket Man, you've lost your mind"? Oh, really? You can't do that there? I'm trying my best to find this audio of the lunatic woman. I'm not saying that to be against women. I'm just telling you, she's a lunatic and she happens to be a woman, okay? If she was a man, I would have said lunatic man. Jeeper creepers, get a grip. But I was talking earlier about, I'm trying to find that audio where this lunatic woman says that the women in Iran have more rights than she does. I'm going to try to find it. I'll find it today or tomorrow. I'll have it for you. And then I got another text. I love our listeners because they are so knowledgeable of all areas. So Ron, I know exactly who Ron is. Well, I'll take that back. I'm not sure this is, it is Ron. I know exactly who Ron is. 5177. He says, "Hey, Tom, Mo, Curly, and Larry, here they are." And he gave, you know what, Ron, you got two of the three. You got two of the three. So work on the third one. And then finally, before we go to a phone call here, our listeners are so great. I asked about the money, following the money trail, and one of our listeners just sent me a link to a news source that talks about where the money is coming from. So I'm going to give that a listen between now and tomorrow and see if we can find something to share with you tomorrow about that. So thank you, listeners. You've done very well. And then finally, we have a listener, 4502, and this texter said, "Hey, Tom, amen to the caller Mark." There you go, Mark. You got some time there. Amen to the caller Mark, who just called this out. Follow the money. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, listener, 4502. All right. Speaking of, and I've got a great story I'm just waiting to share with you. You're going to love this story. I mean, it's so sad. But if it weren't so sad, it'd be kind of hilarious how stupid some of these people are. But I'm going to share that with you in just a minute. First, let's catch a phone call. Tom and Lula. Hello, Tom. What's going on?
Hello. Can you hear me? Yes, sir.
I got you.
Hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Great. So when you're sleep deprived, you're not on your best behavior. So these protesters who are, tools and fools of the Marxists and the Islamists, but the people that are behind all this, they know these things, and they're just trying to do everything they can to get ICE to make a mistake or to, act inappropriately because they're sleep deprived and challenged and stuff thrown at them, and not only epithets but real objects. So that's all part of the deal that these globalist, crazy dictator maniacs are all about. It all works together for not for the common good, but for the bad towards the country that they're trying to destroy. So it's just as somebody earlier said he said the communists are coming. No, wake up, America, lend me an ear. The Marxists aren't coming; they're already here. Come on, Tom. Tom Revere right there. Somebody called you earlier.
Yeah. No, Tom, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. They're here. There happened to be one in New York. I mean, I heard last night on a major news source, a major network, the particular commentary called Madami, called him a flat-out communist who is filling his administration with communists. Now, I've not done that because I don't know about all the slander rules and all that, but this is a major network who called the man a communist. I mean, according to this particular newscaster, they're already here.
Well, yeah, and you've got to, well, they've been here a long time. They're just exploding now because they think this is their big window of opportunity with the anti-Trump sentiment, and now they're just taking over or trying to. And, you got to be a moron, Zoran, to be a Marxist. He sounds real smart, but you can't be very smart at all to try to push a philosophy, an agenda, a form of government that results in the ruination of people's lives intentionally. I mean, or not even if it's unintentional. They know this, but they don't care. They are they're not capitalists. They're anti-capitalist. But I'd rather have a crony capitalist any day than a bunch of crony Marxists and crony communists.
Tom, thank you.
The results will be way different.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. Very good call. Thank you for your concise and very, very pertinent comments. I agree with a lot of what you said there. The communists are here. The Marxists are here. They're gaining strength. And people have got to recognize that. Get your head out of the sand. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just telling you what I see. And by the way, everyone, you do understand, right, that when you exchange one regime for another, capitalism for socialism, okay, fine. You exchange capitalism for socialism. You've just got another group of people, in power. Right? That's all you have. You just changed the people. You haven't changed the system. The power is still there. The corruption is still there. Tom, you're right. I'd rather have crony capitalism than any form of socialism. That'd be my personal druther. All right. Thank you so much, Tom. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break here at 10:13 because when I come back, I want to share with you this story. Now, you haven't heard this anywhere else. You're going to hear it today on the Martha Zoller Show by me, your extraordinary host, co-host, fill-in host. And this is a story about how ICE officials have arrested more than 200 people in Maine, more than 200 in the last 5 days. And these people arrested have been worst of the worst kind of people. And you want to hear what the governor of Maine thinks about it, as well as many of the mayors of the local cities in Maine. So get ready, Maine. Minnesota is coming to you. And I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Don't go away.
On the next edition of the Martha Zoller Show, Tom Smiley is filling in for me. He's going to be talking to people around the corner and around the world. Join him at 9 on North Georgia's News Talk, WDUN.
Are you frustrated with your contacts? Have your glasses become more of a burden? Well, don't suffer. Hi, this is Kim. Here at Advanced Eye Center, we offer all laser LASIK to free your eyes. When you consider not only the amount of money you pay for all of that eye gear, but also the amount of time you spend handling contacts, glasses, cases, solution, and eye drops, how can you not afford to have LASIK? Invest in you. Save your money, Save your time at Advanced Eye Center. Vision correction for all ages.
250 years of America, built one town, one voice, one unforgettable mile at a time. This year, as our nation celebrates its 250th birthday, Travel with Anita brings those stories to life with Quarter Miles Travel. We're sharing the places where history still breathes, communities that shape the country, and landscapes that remind us of who we are. But these aren't just stories to hear. They're places you can go, roads you can travel, experiences you can step into. Quarter Miles Travel connects you to real destinations, real people, and real journeys waiting for you. Listen to us on air, online, and wherever you get your podcasts. Then visit travelwithanita.com for itineraries, travel ideas, and places where your next story begins. The adventure starts when you reach into your pocket.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 55 and with one of the big three carriers, like Verizon, you may notice they don't talk much about their 55-plus discounts. That's so customers like you keep paying their regular higher rates to boost their bottom line. You deserve better service, with 100% US-based experts, better value, with plans starting at $20, and a company that's built for people 50-plus, like me. Not convinced? Give your current carrier a call, ask about the 55-plus plan you've earned, see how long it takes to get a real person on the line, and if they try to talk you out of it. But if you want something better, call Consumer Cellular. We've got the same great coverage, and our US-based experts can get you switched in about 20 minutes. Switch now to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com for your second month free.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, 2 fires in Jackson County, a 3rd in Habersham, and a 4th in Union County, all happened in the midst of Winter Storm Fern. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I hope you're watching on the live cam here. You can go to YouTube and then type in Access WDUN, and what will happen will be a live picture, a live video of yours truly filling in for the Martha Zoller Show. And you can see my Duke hat and my red Christmas scarf that I'm still wearing. And I wear the Duke hat because, well, it represents the greatest basketball program in the history of America. Well, I should say the history of the world. I mean, it's the greatest basketball program. And once again, we proved that last night. We just dominated Louisville, which was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 pick. They're down to 20 now, but nonetheless, we just destroyed them. And I'm looking for us to go all the way and win the NCAA championship. So that's why I wear my Duke hat. You can see it if you go on to Access WDUN from a YouTube link, and you can watch live. There are several people watching live right now. Send me a thumbs up on my Duke hat. I know I've got some Kentucky fans out there that don't like Duke. I understand, but look, really now, you're just upset about Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner did not mean to step on the Kentucky player's stomach twice in that game. He didn't mean it. It was an accident. He accidentally stomped his stomach. Okay, it was an accident. That happens in basketball. So Kentucky fans, we got to get over that. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Focus on what's going on now. Oh, you Kentucky fans, I love you all. I don't know who I enjoy Duke beating in basketball more than Kentucky or North Carolina. That's a challenge. That's a difficulty for me. I'm going to probably say North Carolina. Okay, here's a story that I want to share with you. This is about an ICE operation in Maine nabs 200 criminals in the past 5 days as part of a local enforcement surge that has drawn criticism from the governor, Janet Mills. You remember, this is the same governor that had a little back and forth to-fro with President Trump in the West Wing or wherever it was a while back. The brave men and women of ICE have already arrested, according to the article, more than 200 illegal aliens in the last 5 days. And some of these arrests have been the worst of the worst in the first days of the operation, including criminal aliens, illegal aliens charged with and convicted of horrific crimes, including, are you ready? Write this down, boys and girls. Aggravated assault, false imprisonment, endangering the welfare of a child. These are some of the people arrested in the last 5 days in Maine. And the governor says, no, we don't want that. As a matter of fact, the governor and the mayors and the other people are saying things like, you know what, we don't have a problem. Folks aren't walking around. Well, if they weren't walking around in your cities in the state of Maine, how in the world were they arrested? Of course they were walking around. Of course they were there. They were nabbed. So y'all get your whistles ready. You little girls and girly girls and boy girls, y'all get your whistles ready and go on out there to Maine now and start blowing your whistles to defend these bad people. Go ahead. Call attention to the fact that ICE is on the way to arrest aggravated assault persons, false imprisonment criminals, people endangering the welfare of a child. Go blow your whistles and warn them ICE is coming. I'm telling you what, Maine, get ready. Because this paid protesting group is going to be working its way into your cities and towns if your governor and your mayors don't make it right. Listen to this. You will not believe what you hear. Listen careful.
A new immigration enforcement operation is happening in Maine.
That's right. And our own Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Griff Jenkins is joined. He joined ICE on Operation Catch of the Day as agents work to find hundreds of wanted criminals.
Griff was embedded with them yesterday, and he joins us right now from Portland, Maine. So, Griff, tell us about Catch of the Day.
Well, Steve, Rachel, and Joey, good morning. The feel-like temperature here is -3 right now, but that did not stop ICE yesterday on Operation Catch of the Day from hitting the ground running. Now, some targets proved harder to catch than others. Take a look at this man from Sudan. Now, this Sudanese migrant right here has a long rap sheet. He has more than a dozen criminal convictions in Maine, according to DHS, and those convictions include aggravated assault, false imprisonment, multiple violations of protection orders. A federal immigration judge had ordered his final removal long ago, but until today, guys, he was roaming the streets due to Maine's sanctuary policies. Now, to take a look at this video, we also made arrests of 2 Ecuadorian nationals. They are facing drunk driving charges. One crossed the border illegally during the Biden administration and was released. Listen to Deputy Assistant Director Patricia Hyde talking about the target operation.
We have approximately 1,400 targets here in Maine, ranging from rape of a child, drug trafficking, sexual assaults, simple assaults, driving while under the influence, you name it, they're on the target list.
And Deputy Assistant Director Hyde says that these criminal illegal aliens on this list are from Senegal, Somalia, Honduras, Guatemala, the Congo. But no surprise here, in a sanctuary jurisdiction, the local mayors are not cooperating. Portland's mayor blasting the crackdown, saying this: "We are a welcoming city. There's no evidence of unchecked criminal activity in our community, requiring a disproportionate presence of federal agents." And Lewiston's mayor, that's a neighboring town, posted an ICE Watch hotline on social media, noting that it's available in 9 languages. Here is Patricia Hyde's reaction to that. Listen.
They ban their law enforcement from partnering or even communicating with ICE. And when law enforcement doesn't communicate with law enforcement, that puts our communities in danger.
Now, yesterday, the total of arrests they made was over 50, but they have been out since 3 a.m. already this morning, telling me that they are again making arrests today. And despite the fact that the local mayors in Portland, in Lewiston, and the governor not cooperating with ICE, they say they will stay here until they've caught everyone on that target list. I am Tom Smiley filling in for Martha Zoller. You stay tuned.
New year, double the savings. It's the double rebates event at Kraus Family Hyundai of Gainesville. Ring in the new year with double rebates. You get twice the factory rebate on all new Hyundai Santa Fe and Palisade models. Plus, you get America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and Hyundai Assurance. That's more money back and more reason to buy before January ends. Rush to Kraus Family Hyundai on Atlanta Highway off I-985 in Gainesville or visit KrausFamilyHyundai.com for full details.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Get breaking news fast. Sign up at accesswdun.com for breaking news alerts via text. Log on to accesswdun.com for details and to sign up. You can also sign up to receive local weather and sports alerts. Get the news first with breaking news text alerts from Access WDUN and North Georgia's News Talk. WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10:30.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Borders are Tom Homan in Minnesota run ice efforts and try and cool the chaos from anti-ice demonstrators.
President says that he is going to be meeting with Mayor Jacob Fry as early as today. As Homan comes in, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino and some Border Patrol agents are leaving the state amid some internal frustrations over tactics and messaging.
White House correspondent Aisha Hosney, cops in Maple Grove, a suburb of Minneapolis, report arresting more than 24 protesters targeting a hotel last night where they thought Greg Bovino and ICE agents were staying. Power outages linger across the South from the ice storm. This man in Nashville.
When I looked at our thermostat last, it said 47.
Still more than 555,000 without power in the South. That from poweroutage.us. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow. The conditions from Winter Storm Fern continuing to challenge the area's emergency crews and line workers for EMC providers as tens of thousands of customers in Northeast Georgia head into a third morning with electricity and utility resource issues. Heaviest hit remains White, Habersham, and Rabun counties as nearly 11,000 customers between Georgia Power and Habersham EMC in White County alone are waiting for restoration of service. Another 4,700 Habersham County customers dealing with those same issues, and about 3,800 customers in Rabun County still in the dark and cold. HEMC, Georgia Power, and Jackson EMC, among other service providers, are continuously working to get the lines and poles restored. A man was arrested in Lithonia on child sex crime warrants over the past weekend. WDUN's William Daughtry reports.
Brandon Walker was arrested by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office in Lithonia after warrants were issued by the Duluth Police Department. Those warrants were for statutory rape, child molestation by electronic device, enticing a child for indecent purposes, and creating or possessing an image depicting a minor engaged in sexually explicit conduct. He was taken into custody without incident and is being held in the Gwinnett County Jail.
More news and more details online by going to Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Tuesday morning, North Georgia. It is so cold. Mostly sunny skies, but a frigid start, as you're well aware. We're only in the upper 30s for highs today. Partly cloudy, cold again tonight, but not as cold. We're in the 20s by early tomorrow. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Claremont, just 19 degrees. In Sugar Hill, 22. And in Gainesville, currently 20 degrees. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
I'm Frank Norton with the Norton Agency. One thing I've learned in my 42 years in the real estate business is that Americans are not comfortable with haggling and negotiations. We're by and large not a bartering society, but we at Norton do that every day. Our professional advocates' number one priority is to get the buyer or seller the best price. You need Norton now more than ever. Call us at 770-532-0022 or look for us on the web at gonorton.com. Our family is serving North Georgia for 4 generations.
This is Grant Nichols, and at Loretta's Country Kitchen, we know life can really pile up. There's work, getting the kids to practice, shopping. With all that, the week can really wear you out. The last thing you want to do is spend Saturday in the kitchen. Not to worry, we have you covered with Saturday lunch at Loretta's. That's right, not only are we open for breakfast on Saturdays, we're also serving up lunch from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Give your kitchen and your family a break with Saturday lunch at Loretta's Country Kitchen, Mundy Mow Road, Oakwood, where it's all good.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back. So, hey, Terry, thank you, Terry. Terry sent me a beautiful picture of a Duke light switch, on-off switch you have on your house on the wall. And it's a wonderful picture of it's a Duke light switch. I have to get me one of those. Thank you very much. I need one for all of my grandchildren who also are dookies. All right, put your thinking hats on. Call a friend, because what I'm about to share with you, I have bundled up together. I've been holding this for a couple of days, waiting for a good time to share it. I think now's the time. I've just worked hard to put this together for you, so I want you to enjoy it. I want to inform, and I want to entertain, but also want to tell you the truth. So I want to talk for just a moment. Call a friend right now. Call a friend. Say, get on the air. Dr. T is about to go on strong. The Supreme Court of the United States, a few weeks ago, heard a case, actually 2 cases, that will determine whether states can ban transgender athletes who identify as women from competing on girls and women sports teams. It's a legal fight, and it will have far-reaching implications. People think that the Supreme Court is going to be a 9-0 decision. That is not going to happen. I hope it's at least, 7-2, 6-3, 5-4 in favor of the ban, but who knows what some of these DEI Supreme Court appointees will do. But at issue is whether laws in the state of Idaho and West Virginia can prohibit transgender athletes identifying as a woman. Now, these are men. They have male parts. They're just dressing up as women. Can the law prohibit them from participating in these various women's sports? Well, first up, let me just let you listen to a little word about what is a woman. Now, this is the kind of thing that the Supreme Court had to sit there and listen to.
What a day the Supreme Court had on Tuesday. There was a debate about men and women's sports, and there seemed to be uncertainty from a couple of justices about what is a woman. So, for those justices who were confused, and for some of the presenters who had a difficult time giving the definition of the word woman, here you go. Female, 2 X chromosomes. Male, XY. The definition of woman is an adult female. There you go.
Pretty simple. I mean, that was Senator Blackburn, by the way, from Tennessee. Very simple. But you know who had even a better discussion about boys and girls, about men and women? I mean, the Supreme Court, somebody should have put this in as evidence. This ought to be in the record. Because Mr. Rogers, you know who I'm talking about? Shake your head. I see that head. Mr. Rogers had it right decades ago when he was talking to his children about men and women, boys and girls, mommies and daddies. Mr. Rogers on public TV had it right, and the Supreme Court should listen to this.
Boys are boys from the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mummies. Only boys can grow up and be the daddies. Yes, sir, everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Golly, I can only imagine what Captain Kangaroo would have said about it. Mr. Green Jeans. Why are we having this discussion in is this the 21st century or the 22nd century?
I think you're still in the 21st.
All right, the 21st century.
Still there.
Why are we even having this discussion? People are going to look back on this time and they're going to say, who The inmates were running the asylum. Who has to have this? And now we have doctors. Now these are people who have gone to medical school. They see patients. And in various hearings and evidence gathering committees, many of these doctors can't answer this simple question.
Billionaire Bill Gates appears to be changing his tune on climate change. For years, he's been warning it was one of the greatest threats facing.
I'm sorry, that was I was looking for the Josh Hawley question, and extraordinary producer maybe can get that for us. But the question that Senator Hawley asked is, can men get pregnant? And you have doctors who can't even answer the question. Can men get pregnant? Mr. Rogers had the answer to the question. Mr. Rogers taught the children right. I don't understand why. Would you go to a doctor that couldn't look you in the eye and tell you that a man cannot get pregnant? Would you raise your hand out there right now? Now, keep both hands on your wheel if you're driving. But if you aren't driving and can safely raise your hand if you would go to a doctor who'd look you in the eye and say, you know what, I'm not sure if men can get pregnant or not. I'm just not sure. I would never go to such a doctor. Lawyers for the state, see, they're trying to maintain this ban because they say this ban that prohibits men dressing up like women and playing on girls' teams, this particular ban promotes safety and fairness. That's what they say. So again, the Supreme Court is sitting there asking some questions, and some of the lawyers presenting a case against the ban can't even answer simple questions, much like this doctor who couldn't even answer the question, can men get pregnant?
I'm sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics. Absolutely. So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
can men get pregnant?
I take care of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women.
Can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. Absolutely. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor,
agree.
I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
no, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is extraordinary.
Male with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask. I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's
I see, this is why, bless him. Really? I mean, are we serious? Somebody needs to pull her medical certificate. I mean, did she not have that question on one of her tests? I mean, you have a multiple choice test, a true and false test, a true and false test. And the statement is only men or only women can get pregnant. That's the question. True or false? Did she miss that? Did she get a 99 because she missed that question? This person should not be allowed to hold a scalpel, in my opinion. I hope she doesn't do surgery. Don't tell her what she'd cut off by accident. I don't get it. And these senators up there, Josh Hawley, bless his heart, how can you sit there and hear that muck day in and day out? I mean, I can't even, I just want to pull my hair out sitting here. Can men get pregnant? The answer is no. They've never gotten pregnant. They will never get pregnant. Not a man. Not a biologically born male is not going to get pregnant. Take that off your concern list. Now, you heard Senator Hawley say that this really affects people. The decisions that they make in hearings like this, gathering evidence, can men get pregnant? Well, when we come back from this break, I've got a story about some nurses in the UK who were penalized for their objections of having men nurses in their ladies' locker rooms. And according to the story, you'll hear for yourself, the women are there. They're getting showers. They're walking around with their bras on. They're trying to rest after a busy day. And in comes a male dressed up like a woman who strips down, and all his body parts are there for all people to see. And these nurses said, we can't handle that. We don't want that in our locker room. And who gets penalized? Well, you'll hear it from the story in just a minute when we get back. You're listening to the
Keeping
Mark
you
Zoller
up
Show.
to date with the latest news and weather. It's what we do every day.
It's the news I trust.
North Georgia's News Talk. AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Sometimes we get too much well-meaning advice for life's most difficult decisions. The bank may tell you one thing, your neighbor another, your financial advisor something else, and even other elder law attorneys. What's the difference? I'm Kevin Thorpe, and I'm not only an elder law attorney, but I've dealt with these issues in my own life for my parents and other family members. Sit down with me and experience the difference. For more information, visit my website at kevinthorpe.com.
We're talking with Mike Robertson of Oakwood Tire and More. And Mike, I understand you guys have moved. Where can we find you?
3440 Mabry Road, which is right off of Mountain View.
Still offering the same services?
We won't be doing alignments, but we'll be doing tires. Tires, brakes, batteries, tune-ups, those kind of things that normal maintenance repair.
Sounds good. Give us the address one more time. Make sure we don't miss out.
You can find us at 3440 Mabry Road at oakwoodtire.com or even the same phone number, 770-535-0943.
It's getting cooler, and that means those outdoor pests want to be indoor residents.
While a tube of caulk goes a long way to keep them out, Select Pest Control can make sure they don't leave alive. Select can put down a residual barrier that keeps the pest out. And if you want to do it yourself, they'll put the right product into your hands and make sure you know how to use it. Find out more at selectpest.net, or better yet, visit the Select store at 1786 Brownsbridge Road and tell them Todd Stern sent you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 55 and with one of the big three carriers, like Verizon, you may notice they don't talk much about their 55-plus discounts. That's so customers like you keep paying their regular higher rates to boost their bottom line. You deserve better service. With 100% US-based experts, better value, with plans starting at $20, and a company that's built for people 50-plus, like me. Not convinced? Give your current carrier a call, ask about the 55-plus plan you've earned, see how long it takes to get a real person on the line, and if they try to talk you out of it. But if you want something better, call Consumer Cellular. We've got the same great coverage, and our US-based experts can get you switched in about 20 minutes. Switch now to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com for your second month free.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, a Hall County citizen files a petition with the Superior Courts seeking a new hearing on a proposed Cagle Mill Road development. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
All right, let me gather myself. This double-decker oatmeal cream pie is invaded my system with sugar, but the doctor said I needed more oatmeal, so I'm sacrificing. I reckon the oatmeal supersedes the sugar. I don't know how that works, but he said eat more oatmeal. All right, so here's a story. Now, Josh Hawley, the senator, just tried to get a medical doctor to answer yes or no to the question, can men get pregnant? So, I mean, when she had that on her test, was it a multiple choice? Like A, no, B, yes, C, all the above. I mean, is that what was on the test? Was it true and false? I don't know, but either she forgot it or she missed it the first time. But he said in his story, this is why we're having these kinds of hearings. This is why we're gathering information, because these events, these situations, these conversations have effect on real life. And so here's the story that backs that kind of statement up. Nurses in the UK have been fighting discrimination, what I would call reverse discrimination, because this one Christian nurse finally was reinstated from her suspension because she refused to call a man dressed up like a woman she. You know, this particular nurse was a Christian, and she said, I cannot in good conscience refer to a biological male as a woman. I can't do that, and I'm not going to do that. So what was she? She was penalized. She was disciplined for misgendering a patient. Later, they changed that from misgendering to, breaking confidence, even though she never used the person's name or never gave any particular medical information. Well, all of that has been resolved. That nurse has been reinstated. She has been, I suppose, given her back pay, and she's back at work. But in the article is also information regarding a group of nurses who just didn't want a man dressed up like a woman in their locker room. Now, these are UK nurses, so they have an accent, so you have to listen carefully. The audio is good, but listen carefully to simply what they were asking.
I mean, it's been ongoing for a long time. We've been ignored. We've been to our trust with a lot of concerns. Just had very little response. Oh, it's being dealt with. The matrons are discussing it. It's a very sensitive issue. Just sort of swept aside, I think, in the hope that we were going to just kind of forget about it and shut up. I think to go public was just to try and gain some attention, really, from the government to try and look at the policies around this, because there's nothing in place at the minute to protect women. It's literally a self-ID situation where, you know, any person can just say the ID is a woman and go in. We were talking about it one day, and obviously there's one of the girls who didn't want to be named, who, you know, suffered from abuse as a child. She also was stood there, and there was three of us chatting, and one of the international girls she just said how she was stood there without a top on in the changing room. She knew nothing about this situation going on. Nobody had told any of us. And so she stood there. She's got, you know, she's just stood there in a bra, and she hears this man's voice, and she said she couldn't move. She was actually just frozen in panic, holding her hands across her chest and didn't know what to do. She was just so horrified.
I think people are so terrified. I mean, a lot of the Muslim colleagues work in theatres, and people have expressed that they've been silenced through there. People have been brought in for disciplinaries if they've mentioned anything about the changing room situation. So they're threatened, and it's really governed by fear.
We have been made to feel like we're bigots and that we're, you know, that we're transphobic and we're bullies. And it's not about bullying anybody. All we want to do is just defend our right to a female-only space. We don't want to attack trans people. We know that there's a lot of really good trans people out there that wouldn't mean any harm to anybody, but we can't tell the difference who's good and who's bad, you know? And that's where the issue lies.
And ultimately we want the policy change, don't we? It's about policy change and safety for our change room for women.
Well, it's not safe because people of that particular persuasion, men who dress up like women and demand entrances into women's safe spaces, have a psychological issue. That's just not me making that up. That's what medicine said just a few years back until the political correctness made them change it. That's what a 25-year gay middle school teacher said at a board meeting. He said to cut off healthy body parts, to take drugs and hormones, is not representative of anything other than a deep psychological issue. Of course it's not safe. Of course you don't know who's in your locker room. But these nurses could not have been any more polite and kind and simply requesting their safe place be safe. I don't get this. I don't understand how anybody can stand with this. I'm ashamed of you if you do. I'll be back tomorrow.